what is Mannkal's role? People often ask, what do you do? What are you guys up to? Well, here it is. It's pretty simple. During our Mannkal's 16 years, our role has evolved toward picking up a message that largely falls through the cracks at some of our universities. There are two main views of the legitimate role of government in society. One role has that all the decisions are made by political representatives of the society, and that causes the disease called central planning, where everything is frozen over and nothing much happens. That's a pretty grim view, and a lot of people in Eastern Europe are very familiar with that view. The other alternative is a view that where individuals really have a chance to do some planning for themselves. And that creates a stable system of laws and avoids favouritism and protects property rights. Real old-fashioned stuff. Some government responsibilities are essential, but they're pretty limited. And citizens themselves are really enabled and expected to do their best to take care of their needs, both their personal and their social needs. This freedom-loving ideal is encouraged by Mannkal and has been developed in detail by many thoughtful writers all the way from Lao Tzu back in 604 BC to Adam Smith of more recent times, and a whole string of other social economists like Hayek and all his friends. So there's a pretty good detailed roadmap of where we're heading. It's practiced mostly in countries toward which people flee, and practiced least in countries from which people escape. So we, or at least in countries from which we say escape. So our view of the ideal society is one where the public sector provides the basic legal rules governing civil society and under a very limiting constitution. So it limits the scope of government just really simply to one of referee in our ongoing game. So under Australia's existing educational system, sometimes students come all the way through universities without ever being exposed to the message of a free society. So we're in there just picking up those little bits. And we've developed a wonderful network all around the world of think tanks in a most remarkable set of countries. And that's the network that we've been focusing on. We've sent now 650 young people to many of these think tanks. Some are actually in Australia. And we've got the latest one we've opened up channels with is in Lithuania, and young Ashley, who was taking the photographs last year, is heading over there for 6 weeks. There's a whole string, and there's some others. One in France just appeared. Very happy. They had heard very good report about the Mannkal scholars that have been going all around the place, and people are now seeking them out. So there must be something special about our young Aussies. So that's really pretty much all we do. So it's nothing complicated about that, and so we can do more of it and do it more effectively. We've entered into a sort of an expansion program here. It's not really a succession plan. I don't want people to think that I'm being phased out completely, but I'll just concentrate on being a very good chairman and really sitting in a little back room and doing some more thinking. But what we've done, we've created a wonderful board of independent directors, the board of trustees. We've got a wonderful advisory council, mainly young people around the 30s that have been Mannkal scholars, and they're really positioned all around the world. We have many of them here tonight. And it's great to see Jess and Emma back from their travels, perhaps in Jess's case for some time and perhaps Emma's case for a few more hours. But these are part of our network of advisory council members, and they form a tremendous. Their role is to help some of the older guys become young in the way we think. Their challenge was to make us think like 30-year-olds, but we were told not to be too ambitious, perhaps 40-year-olds. Well, we'll settle for that. And then, plus we've got another strata of newly appointed Mannkal ambassadors, and many of them are here tonight, and they're helping us cover the expenses of events such as tonight and the other events. Many don't form within the very tight tax limits of a prescribed a private foundation like Mannkal. They help us run things like that, and they're also a source of wisdom that just remind us that there might be sometimes better ways of trying to do what we're doing. So that's it. And we've made some very important strategic appointments this year, or toward the end of last year. Becky Vidler has joined us now with all the lights on here. I'm sure Becky's right there. Becky is now our scholarship coordinator and doing a fantastic job.